All right. The city of Campbell is no longer requiring face coverings be worn inside city facilities. However, all are welcome to wear a face covering should that make them feel more comfortable. Should health directives from the County of Santa Clara or the Centers for Disease Control change, the city will comply. All right, so welcome everybody to the Thursday, December 8th, 2022 meeting of the Civic Improvement Commission. Let's see, first thing up, roll call. Oh, I'm sorry. I've got one other, pardon me, I missed a part here. It says this regular Civic Improvement Commission meeting is conducted in person and via telecommunication and is compliant with the provisions of the Brown Act. Video recording of this meeting will be available on the city's YouTube channel immediately following the meeting. Let's see here. And I call this meeting to order at 7:32. Roll call.
Commissioner Naylor, Commissioner Malcolm.
Here.
Commissioner Dooley.
Here.
Commissioner Yoshikawa.
Here.
And Vice Chair Brocker.
Here.
Thank you.
All right. So were there any announcements? No. All right. First off, we've now approved the minutes. So can somebody make a motion?
Motion to approve.
You gotta say the whole thing.
Oh. Motion to approve regular meeting minutes Thursday, November 10th, 2022.
All right. Second. Okay. Roll call.
Commissioner Naylor, Commissioner Malcolm.
Here.
Commissioner Dooley.
Aye.
Commissioner Yoshikawa.
Aye.
And Vice Chair Brocker.
Aye. All right. Communications. Do we have any? No. All right. And any oral requests? I don't think we have anybody from the general public here. So, all right, moving on. Okay. All right. First up, we've got Stephen Fitzgerald, Deputy County Librarian, to provide the county library update for the month of December, and then introduce our new community librarian to the commission. Hello.
Good evening.
Make sure this is on. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Pleasure to be here this evening. Great to see you all. It's hard to believe already that 2022 is almost at an end. So that came up fast, but lots of events happening over at the library over the past year, and we've outlined some of those events in our packet. So hopefully you've all had a chance to read that. But of course, we had Silicon Valley Reads, and we had our summer reading program, Distinguished Authors. And we have currently our Dolores Porta event going on at Gilroy Library. So this is an exhibit featuring the famous activist. Hopefully you'll get a chance to visit. The exhibit is there until January 23rd. And she did visit us as well. So we had an event with her, a panel event back in November. We had over 600 people attend. It was very exciting. Yeah, it was something to see, and she's amazing. I think she's in her early 90s, but yeah, she was still incredible, full of energy, and it was great seeing her and listening to what she had to say in that event. And you can view that online if you'd like to see that. It is on our website. We are also piloting a program in our Woodland Library. So this is our branch library of our Los Altos library location. And this is a program in which patrons are able to take advantage of additional hours, expanded hours, with limited or no staff available. So it's kind of a pilot program that we're seeing. If it's something we might want to implement elsewhere, but we'll keep you updated on our progress there. We have an exhibit going on at our Milpitas Library location. So this is called We Are Not Strangers Here, African American Histories in Rural California, and it documents African American experiences in California. So hopefully you'll get a chance to visit that as well. And I believe that's there through January 4th. And finally, just a reminder that as we are all making large purchases this holiday season, that the library is there to help, and we have resources to help you review some of those materials that you might want to purchase. So we have our consumer reports available online. Sorry, I threw you for a loop there. So that our consumer reports is available online. We also have some other resources you might want to take advantage of as well. So just to get you ready for the holiday season. And with that, that concludes my report, but I do want to introduce behind me, I have Nicole King, recently appointed the community librarian at your own Campbell Library. So I will. take it
Oh,
over.
welcome.
I will turn it
Yeah.
over to Nicole. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. All right, anyone have any questions or, oh, please. Yeah, no, please come up and speak.
Hi,
Hello.
how are you?
Good.
Just a little bit about myself. I've been with the county library since 2005. I was a teen librarian at the Morgan Hill Library and then a children's supervising librarian actually here at Campbell for about 4 to 5 years. So I worked with Peggy. And then I went over to Saratoga Library to be their community librarian. And then Peggy shocked us all and retired. And so I just wanted to come back home to where I loved where I was before. I also have experience as a library page and a clerk. So I've done kind of all the jobs. And so a bunch of different aspects. I'll talk a little bit about what the staff has been doing. We're continuing with our indoor story time and our ESL classes at the Express Library. So that requires booking rooms to do the programs, but we're all set for the rest of the year for both of those next year, 2023, for both of those programs. And then also just to kind of do a little shout out, I put some statistics in my sheet, but in October, out of that little building, we managed to do 12 programs and had over 380 people attend. So I just kind of want to give a little shout out to the staff that are at that little library. Also, I'm sure most of you guys know, but I was at the city council meeting on Tuesday where they did formally accept the $4.7 million grant for the library from the California State Library. So we're really excited for that. That's all I have, but I'm open to questions. Personally, I have 2 children, a 13-year-old boy, which is really challenging, but that's okay. I'm just happy to be back at Campbell.
Welcome back, Nicole.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Any questions or comments? All right. Well, thank you, Nicole, and welcome again. All right, moving on. Let's see. Staff reports from our city manager, Brian Leventhal.
Thank you. Just brief report this evening. Of course, you're aware that on December 20th, we will be having the rotation and reorganization of our city council. And as you know, we have 2 council members that are termed out. They will be stepping down. That's Mayor Resnikoff, Paul Resnikoff, and Council Member Liz Gibbons. And we will be swearing in 2 new council members and then reorganizing the mayor and vice mayor leadership of the council on that meeting. The 2 new council members, Elliot Scazola and Dan Furtado. Dan's a longtime resident and former council member, so you probably know him, and you may know Elliot as well. And then the holiday closure for City Hall will be closed half a day on December 23rd through the 2nd of January. And so obviously emergency services and public safety is still open, but City Hall will be closed. And then I also wanted to announce probably the best news of this evening. If you heard Tuesday evening at the council meeting, council appointed 2 new CIC commissioners to this commission. And that is Gary Colaccio and Thomas Russell. And so we'll be working to onboard them, hopefully up and running for your January meeting. So we'll welcome 2 new commissioners to fill up the dais here a little bit. That's it for my report.
So I mean, even though I know in the past, the commission chairperson usually assists with the orientation, but I'm going to say it should probably be you, given the knowledge you have of the commission in the longest term.
Is there what's the protocol? I mean, do you need to follow protocol, or is it just anybody? I mean, is it any council member that, commissioner that can help with the onboarding?
Okay.
I'm fine with whatever. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. I'm happy
Yeah.
to.
I mean, I'm happy to help out in any way that I can, but I'm acknowledging you've got far more institutional knowledge than I do. So, and I want to take advantage of that resource, but
You okay with?
Yeah, I'm fine
Okay.
with that. Thank
Yeah.
you.
so,
Happy to. Okay.
okay. All right. Any other questions, comments, or no? All
That's
right.
exciting. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, very much so. Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Thank you. All right, let's see here. All right, we have no unfinished business. That's nice. Close out the year that way. Anybody have any good of the game announcements?
We missed one.
Oh, new business? Oh, okay. Oh, I'm sorry. I skipped right over that. Pardon me. Pardon me. I'm not following the script.
May all be okay, but this is our opportunity just to make sure that we're on the same page with what we're doing with the social service subject. So in your packet, I think starting on page 22, if I'm correct, there's our policy.
This one here, yeah.
There you go. Yes. Is the information we include in your packet regarding the social service subgrants from our policy that basically sets forth the procedures that we're going to follow to go through here with the grants, including distributing and making the grant applications available. Although we had indicated originally in this document, December 5th, we haven't yet done that because we knew we were waiting this evening to speak to you and want to make sure before we start soliciting for those applications that we're on the same page. But we'll be prepared to do that shortly based on feedback if there is any this evening in the grant. Also included in here is the funding guidelines that includes a list of eligibility criteria and the funding guidelines associated with that. And I'm not going to read each of these, but these are the same criteria and guidelines we've used for some time. But I also want to just call those to your attention if there's a need. And I wasn't working with this commission in the last couple of years. If there's been conversations about issues associated with any of these, now would be the time to revise those. And if not, I would propose that we leave them the same. I'm not recommending any changes. And then lastly is just, as I said, the schedule, the process schedule on that last page. So normally we would have released these this week. The deadline it was scheduled to be January 27th. And then you see the dates going forward, and I'm looking to just confirm that those dates, the February dates, those are regular meeting dates. Yes. Yes, so those where you see study session is February 9th, that is our regular meeting date on February 9th. And then the public hearings on March 9th and April 13th. I think we talked about that when we talked about schedule at the last meeting. Those are also regular meeting dates of the commission. And then slated for council action, when we talk about May, that council action, May 2nd is really, if I understand correctly, the budget for the next cycle. We've already been given a budget for this cycle. It's a 2-year cycle. So in May is the budget's consideration of the budget for next fiscal year. So that's what that's referring to. So I haven't heard issues, but before we get started, before we kick off this process, I just wanted to make sure we had an opportunity as a commission to give feedback if there was any thoughts in the past couple of years or improvements that needed to either the criteria, the guidelines, or the process.
I think the criteria was okay. We were just, where we had discussion was like how to calculate the, who got what.
Allocations.
Yeah, the allocation. So.
And that's this, we can do that in the study session.
Right.
And usually a lot of them will attend the study session. It is open and available to them. So, just to manage expectations that they might all be there or just a couple of them and then the study session will preclude the regular scheduled meeting, right? Right, but it'll be immediately before. So then they'll be in attendance for that too, most likely. And will we have them on the agenda to present or like we usually do the following meeting in March? And is that the public hearing? Okay,
Right.
we talk about them a month later. Okay, and then when is it on? So it's on the March 9th agenda, it will be for the actual allocation recommendations? Okay, yeah, that makes sense. I'm just trying to map it out. And when do we need to have any changes to the guidelines? If we had any changes, do we need to get those in now or since the?
Mhm.
Yeah, good evening, Commissioners. Pleasure to be here. Tina Wong Erling, Senior Services Supervisor. The reason I've been invited to be in attendance as well is because I've been involved with the social service subgrants for many, many years. And then that's the reason being is primarily because a lot of the funder or the funded agencies do serve senior older adults rather. So that's the reason I've been involved. And so I can kind of review the process with you and give a little bit more detail because of my familiarity. So the first item is very straightforward in terms of the application. And then the second item as well, the application deadline is January 22nd, 27th. From there, what staff will do is review the applications and make certain that they're complete and ready for your review. And at the study session on February 9th, in the past, I've led that process in terms of providing an overview of the various applicants and what their agencies are proposing to provide the city of Campbell. And I'm happy to do that if you'd like me to do that. Then at the public hearing on March 9th, that is when the agencies themselves are invited to make a presentation of their proposal for grant funding. And then on April 13th, it's a second public hearing in which the agencies will be invited back it's completely optional to make a second presentation of their proposal to add any additional information. In fact, should you have any questions about the grant proposal and they're not present on March 9th, April 13th is the opportunity that they can respond. And then, as I recall, on April 13th, you will, during your regular meeting, you can discuss after the public hearing, the second public hearing, then you can review the funding allocations and make your determinations at that point.
Okay.
Any questions about the process?
No, but we would love to have you prepare for our study session with us.
Oh, yes, very much. Yes.
Yeah, my pleasure. I'm just familiar with the agencies. That's the reason I'm available.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. I look forward to seeing you all in the new year and have a wonderful holiday.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tina.
Appreciate it,
Happy
Tina.
holidays.
Okay. Actually, even though it says there's no unfinished business, I have a question for Brian with regards to the code of conduct. The council, we had weighed in and given some feedback on it. I'm just curious if there was any update on that or what the next
So-
steps.
That's not on the agenda and I'm not sure.
we
Can we
can't.
discuss that, Brian? And-
Yeah, we can't really discuss that this evening, but I'd be glad to send the commission an update of what happened. I'll send you an
okay.
email, just updating you.
No problem. All right.
Thank you. Sorry.
No worries. All right. Well, so now moving.
I had one quick question. Sorry, moving back. Do we want to, I know if we don't have any changes on the administrative policies and procedures back to the social service subgrants, do we want to put like a last reviewed date? So change that from November to like today, because,
We'll reflect that we've reviewed it.
Yeah.
States, yes.
thank you.
Oh, good catch.
Would save us next year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Excellent. Okay.
Active in the minutes, correct?
Put a review date on the document.
On the document? Okay. All right. Thank you.
just so, and next time we look at it, we,
Yeah, we know it was,
Know that it's.
we don't have to
looked
go through all the minutes to think when we're.
or wonder if it was. All right, anything else? Moving on. Okay. Anybody have anything for good at the game? I don't. So, all right, well then, let's see, we'll move on to subcommittee reports. We'll start with Campbell Cares and the Neighborhood Refresh Project. I do not have an update. I had intended to get a hold of Carol Hoffman to reach out to Rotary to talk to them about their efforts and haven't yet. But because I'm hoping actually to attend one of their meetings and speak with the group and let them know about what we're doing and what's going on. So I will make every effort to do that before the next meeting and report on that, and we can hopefully move on from there. Otherwise, I don't think we've got anything else really active.
Have we spoken at all to the youth commission about this yet? I know we wanted to at some point bring them in, but I can't remember if we've.
No,
talked to them.
and there's nothing I mean, I don't think there's anything stopping us. So do they, I know they don't meet regularly. They kind of meet as needed or?
No, they'll have regular monthly meetings. And I don't know what their next date is, but we can get it to you if you want to attend their meeting or have someone attend. their
Well,
meeting.
I mean, I'm sure it's posted on the city's website, so I can.
I know we've talked about like all of our subcommittees of just, kind of decimated along with the commission. So we're trying to just hold steady until we can get, hobble along until we can fill out the rest of the commission and
December 12th.
reallocate kind of the headcount for subcommittees, et cetera. So maybe that's something with the youth commission if we want to do that in the new year. I mean,
Absolutely, yeah.
they're already in finals, getting ready for
Yeah.
finals and
Oh.
weekend
Sure.
break. So
And really, we don't have a service structure yet for that.
Yeah.
We don't really have it structured as far as how it's gonna look, we don't have really anything in place yet. Really, we were just kind of engaging them to see, how interested they would be. We We're just kind of trying to like test the water a little bit to
Mhm.
see, if they would be interested in joining with us,
Collaborating.
to do something like that. And how much time might be able to dedicate to it, that kind of thing, so.
So their next meeting's December 12th, and then they would be meeting again in January.
Yeah, January's probably better
Yeah.
for that.
Okay.
and they're Mondays.
Second.
Yeah. And our next meeting is January.
12th,
the-
January 12th.
Somewhere.
No, that's the youth commission, right?
No,
This would be January 12th would be your meeting.
Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah.
Youth Commission would be January 9th.
8th. Okay. So then it'll probably be February
Yep,
for the
I'm
youth
thinking.
commission, yeah.
yep,
Okay.
which is okay. I mean, we're not rolling fast on any of these
Yeah.
things right
And
now.
the new council member, commissioners will be here.
That's right.
hopefully for the January meeting, so
Yeah.
that would be good.
And Get
to try 'em on.
everybody involved.
Mhm.
Okay.
I think we should for February, yeah.
Yeah.
Are you adding it to our agenda or are you going to there? Or
No,
sorry,
we'll go
Well,
to their meeting in
yeah.
January and then
No,
discuss. it.
February,
February?
yeah, February.
Oh, we'll
Yes,
go
so
to their-
Diana, they're not talking about adding to this agenda. They're going to attend the Youth Commission meeting in February.
That's what I'm.
That's what she's
Yeah.
referring to.
You were adding it to our
No,
agenda?
she
Oh,
got, I understood what you're, no, we're not adding it to our agenda, just
Gotcha.
clarifying that you're
Yeah.
referring to.
Yes.
Yes, okay. All right, so moving on to Capture Campbell.
Yes, and I have nothing to offer at this point. I'm so sorry. I've been at the hospital for the better part of the last 40 days. So, I mean, not for me, but yeah, for my mom. So, yeah, I don't know which end is up and I don't know if we may have to extend it again, or I don't know. I'm kind of at
I don't know. So any ideas on if we should extend it, just like try and crank it out in the next, like, heads down for, a drive for the next 3 days to just get everything, settled and done, or, yeah.
Where are we at with, I mean, where would we normally
Still
be?
need sponsors. Well, yeah, I mean, it would be better to have more sponsors. And I mean, we do have 2 judges, but it would be, I would prefer to have a couple more judges as well. And I haven't even looked at submissions over the last month, so I don't know
Okay,
where we are with that.
okay.
Um,
Well, still a little bit of an update.
Yeah, I mean, we could scrape something by if we had to by the end of this month, but yeah, I hate to do some,
Yeah,
I hate to extend it, but I also hate to not have it dialed in like it normally is.
Are you the only one on that subcommittee right now?
I think,
I don't know what is going on with me in subcommittees because I keep getting moved around and then I don't know when people are meeting.
Oh,
I
right.
haven't met, I mean,
Nobody's
yeah,
met.
I might be
get it.
on an island by myself, but
Yeah.
because it. Okay. Okay. And it was also Davis Fields, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so.
I would suggest extending it a little bit. I think
I
trying to
mean,
do
we
something.
extended it once, but I hate to do it, but I don't know what other option at this point
It
is
might be a little
feasible
too rushed in the next few days to try and get something pumped out,
for this month.
Yeah,
Well, and with the addition of 2 new commissioners, hopefully we can,
right.
with the extra people power, we can get things reshuffled and get back on track. So yeah, it makes sense to kind of table things until January.
Everyone good with that?
Yeah, why don't we, in January, when we onboard the new commissioners, we'll have a discussion of the subcommittee, maybe on that agenda.
Yes,
Sure.
do
I
Some
think
assignments, and
that's-
so we can
absolutely.
get rolling on that.
Yes.
And then readjust, because it has been a little bit wonky with
So then are we full?
missing some commissioners here.
We'll be full January.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah.
We'll put that on the agenda to discuss that and reestablish, and then we'll put the subcommittees on there and establish that, then we can figure out a new timeline for that.
Okay.
So I guess that's the other question is, would the commission prefer to kind of extend it, another month, or extend it like just combine the 2 years, go into next year? Because if we're already talking about January, I mean, or we can give it some thought and come back in January and talk about that, I guess, with the subcommittee updates in January. But I would, ask you all to think about, what your opinion is on that, because if we're pushing it to, if it's already going to be 2023, then should we just combine? I know.
To have through June.
Yeah, but that's, yeah. 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 Okay, we'll revisit it next month and nail down some dates once we get the new commissioners and subcommittees settled.
Yeah, we're not really down to crunch time just yet.
No, we are, because we've already extended it. so
Oh, okay,
that's- yeah,
gotcha.
that's- And we've played with the timing because, people go into school, and then, we just kind of like the neighborhood association grants, we've kind of changed the
Mhm.
timing to see, so that it fits a little bit better,
Mhm.
so. Yeah, it's still COVID, we're still. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Getting
Right,
sorted back
yeah.
out, yeah. All right.
It has to be.
We'll have a full year. Great. By the end of next year, we'll be better.
Yeah.
We'll have it all dialed in.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. Right. Okay, so that covers Capture Campbell. All right, and anything about the Explore Heart project? So it was Fields, Kaufman and Malcolm. So now it's just Malcolm's.
It's just me. I haven't done anything, so.
Fair enough. All right. Okay.
That, I think it might be a good idea once the new commissioners are on, to kind of go over the guidelines of what each subcommittee is.
Mhm.
That would be part of the discussion.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll want to onboard them. We'll do a little bit of onboarding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Describe that to them, but certainly some discussion.
Right. And what's been done in the past, maybe, and kind of, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, because the subcommittee, I know, even when I first came on, the whole subcommittee thing was kind of, it was a very foreign concept. It wasn't really talked about. And I even think our two newest commissioners don't have a lot of information about what's going on with the subcommittees, but we haven't done a lot either. So
Mhm.
unfortunately, you come in at a time when we weren't doing anything. So
I think it took 6 months for
there
me to get
wasn't
assigned
anything
to
to talk
work.
about.
I was-
So I think in the onboarding, when does that need to, I mean, is it done between now and our first meeting, basically? Okay, so we'll work on scheduling that, but I think that's a really good point that you make, that maybe that should be part of it, is kind of an overview of, what the commission does, the specific projects that we've done, give some examples, and then the subcommittees as well.
Yeah.
'Cause that would be important to touch upon.
And I think our committee as a whole, our commission as a whole needs that debrief as well, to be
Mhm.
honest.
I agree.
Not just
Yeah.
in the two new ones,
We
but
can make that part of the discussion.
Yeah.
too, as the
Yeah.
team, but when we do the onboarding.
For
we'll
sure.
At least try to bring them up to speed, at least
yeah,
what we discussed. in the past.
so they know what they're possibly signing up for. Yeah.
By then it's too late.
Right.
They're already
They
here.
can't sign, I mean, they can't sign out, but
We don't want to scare them off.
No,
not yet.
good point.
Okay. Excuse me. I think that covers all the active ones at the moment. So. All right. So what is this? 8:03. All right. So the regular meeting of the Civic Improvement Commission is now adjourned at 8:03. The next regularly scheduled Civic Improvement Commission meeting is on Thursday, January 12th, 2023. So Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Holidays, and
Wonderful.
all that good stuff.
That might be a record of
Yeah.